All right, guys. So people talk a lot about how to become a better speaker, and I've always been somewhat uncomfortable with people telling me that I'm a good speaker, or I always was up until about a couple years ago, when I did finally realize that yeah, I do a decent job at speaking. So now that I've realized that, I want to help people get better at speaking. And it's been a hot topic. I've seen a lot of people about how to get over your fears of speaking and shit like that. I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about something that I don't see a lot of people talking about, is how to just get better at speaking in a more tactical way. First, I went to school to be a teacher, an economics teacher, in high school. Most of my students never wanted to be there. It wasn't in like a real great school district. So what I learned from that experience is if you want to be a better speaker, speak to kids who don't want to hear from you. You will naturally start to learn how to connect and engage with an audience where half of them are putting on their headphones or they're on their phones, they don't want to listen to you. How do you get them, people who don't want to be there, to listen? When you're at a conference and somebody's paid $1,200 to be there, well, yeah, they're going to pay attention for the most part. But if you can learn to break through with people who don't want to be there, you will become a better speaker. Start small. I can't believe people who speak on stages, on large stages, for their first 5 or 10 presentations. I started off doing roundtables with probably about 8 people, 10 people at the affiliate summit when no one else, not SMX, not SCS, none of them would let me speak. But Sean and Missy at the affiliate summit, they would. So they let me do like roundtables, super small. They didn't want to take a big risk on me. I was new, and I don't blame them. But then they got feedback from that, and they had me do a panel the next session, and then I did another panel with 4 people, and then after that I presented by myself, solo presentation for an hour or 45 minutes or so for the last like 10 or 12 affiliate summits that I've done. But you got to start small and work your way up, because you will learn on smaller audiences. So when you make massive mistakes, you're making them in front of a small group instead of a large group. And you'll have made those mistakes and powered through in smaller rooms. The bigger the room, the more nervous people typically get, myself included. When you're doing a presentation, empower people. Like, you want people to feel empowered, like they can go do something, that they are like, that's the reason why I came. I will now leave here and go do something, right? When I did a presentation a couple years ago at MozCon, I created a rallying point, and I did not realize that I did. A lot of my speaking, other people tell me what I've done that I didn't like systematically do. So Rand Fishkin told me, he's like, Will, what you did at that presentation is you created like a rallying cry, and the rallying cry was, aren't you sick of getting your ass kicked by black hats when you're trying to do the right stuff? And this was many, many years ago, before the RCS presentation. And I knew what I did. What I tried to do is I tried to connect with almost everybody in the room, not just the technical, not just the marketers, not the newbies, not the interns, not the 10-year pros, everyone. So you're coming out with a topic or something, or you're presenting a topic. How can you get the largest amount of people in that room to stand up in their seat and go, okay, I might learn something? I know everybody hates getting their ass kicked by low-quality tactics at that MozCon. Rand was the one that helped me to realize that was a rallying cry. Be tactical. Tactical is so old school, right? Everybody wants to be super strategic and give a fucking TED talk. You know, it's like now that there's a TED in like Sheboygan, Michigan, like everybody's done a TED talk, right? Be tactical. Tactical builds momentum, guys. Being tactical and showing people things they can do, it empowers them. And when you empower them to do things, they feel like, I can go do that. And when they do that, they want to come and see you again next year, and then you build momentum. Then you also build the trust with the audience, that when you decide to talk about something strategic or something big, people will be more likely to listen. Think about your presentation as something that gives people things that they can literally do in 5 to 10 minutes when you're trying to go tactical. I mean, something that is, and I do this in my presentations, is I actually go through those steps on stage so people can see that I just did something hopefully great, or at least good, in literally 5 minutes. So then I turn around to the audience and I go, seriously, do you not have 5 minutes to do that? The problem is when your presentation requires like a bunch of different things to all happen, and you're moving a bunch of shit around, and then all of a sudden, like half hour later, you go, ta-da! People go, I don't have a half hour to do that, 1. Two, you're a pro and you're doing this on stage, so it's probably going to take me 3 or 4 times as long as it takes you. So you know what? I'm not going to do it. So guys, stop presenting shit that you basically know 2 years from now, no one is going to be doing. Try to present stuff that you know from now people will still try to do, right? Another thing you should try to do is in the first 3 minutes, get people thinking, oh crap, I'm going to learn something today. Like, just time yourself, right? In the first 3 minutes, what have you gotten out of your mouth that's going to help people go, okay, I think I'm going to learn something today that I can go do, right? You got to practice. Practice your presentations. Having your timing thrown off is a surefire way to lose your momentum or your mojo. And once your mojo is kind of gone, you all feel it. You know what it feels like in the pit of your stomach. Shit just doesn't feel right, right? Take your presentation, present it to your wife, your mom, your grandmom, and then at like 5-minute intervals, ask them what they just learned, and then articulate it back to you. Because you got to respect and have empathy for your audience. There's going to be people from all swaths there, and if certain things are so deep that regular people can't get it, then you're going to lose out in the audience. So the only other thing I'll say is, I got a couple other things, is don't present on stage with monsters. And what do I mean by that? When I say don't present on stage with monsters, I mean people who do this shit for a living. Like people who are always highly rated, people who have massive followings. Because what happens is when you present with people like that, inevitably, you're going to get low rated. You want your 5th, 6th, or 10th, or 15th presentation to be on stage in front of 1,000 people? Good luck, because all the other people typically presenting in that room are monsters. So when people see them present and you present, and they go to fill out those forms at the end of the day, here comes the ego blow, bam, people are going to rate you low. It's just the way it works, because they're comparing you to monsters. So practice on smaller stages. And if you get rated low, don't point to the audience as the problem. Point to yourself. Maybe you sucked. And if that hurts your ego, then go and get on a smaller stage and then practice. So that's all I got. And this is my dog, Coltrane, and we are out. See ya.